Let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're uncovering the epic, and I mean truly cosmic, origins of a spectacular mythological event from the Astaka Parva of the Mahabharata. We're looking at a story that completely defies ordinary scale. It's a foundational narrative of divine pursuit and just unimaginable power. We're talking about the churning of the ocean. But, to really wrap our heads around how this monumental event unfolded, we actually need to start near the end of the process. We need to start with a sudden, spectacular arrival that leaves everyone watching completely spellbound.
Just listen to this description for a second. Divine, graceful, perpetually young, creation's masterpiece, and of irresistible vigor. The narrator, Sauti, is describing the sudden appearance of Uchchaihsravas. And let me tell you, this isn't just any horse. This is a literal gem of a steed, one that's worshipped by the gods themselves. The text tells us it's blessed with absolutely every auspicious mark. Imagine witnessing the arrival of something so perfect, so incredibly powerful, that it defies all natural logic. You'd immediately want to know exactly where it came from, right? I know I would.
And that leads us directly to the core questions. Why do the gods churn the ocean for nectar? And how did this magical steed spring forth? We're stepping right into the shoes of the original listener in the text, Saunaka. He hears about this flawless, immortal steed, and he literally stops the narrator to ask, wait, why did the gods churn the ocean for nectar in the first place? And under what circumstances did this magical, resplendent horse just pop out? These are fantastic questions, and they're going to trigger our journey back to the very beginning of the tale. To answer them, we've got to look at exactly where this whole cosmic endeavor kicked off.
So, setting the stage, we're looking at the cosmic setting here. The majesty of Mount Meru. Long before the ocean is ever churned, the celestials meet up, and this stage is unlike anything on Earth. It establishes the sheer, mind-boggling magnitude of the mythological world we're exploring today.
I want you to really picture this. The narrator describes Mount Meru with this absolute awestruck reverence. It's not just some tall mountain. It is a heap of effulgence. It's got these blazing golden peaks that literally scatter the rays of the sun. It's the exclusive haunt of gods in Gandharvas, and it is completely unapproachable by anyone carrying the weight of sin. It kisses the heavens, the absolute first of mountains. But it's not just a giant barren rock. It's covered in divine life-giving herbs, while simultaneously being roamed by dreadful beasts of prey. And all the while, the whole place resounds with the charming melody of winged choirs. I mean, it paints a picture of a mountain so immense and so wildly beautiful that ordinary people literally can't even fathom climbing it.
Okay, moving on to the ultimate prize, the quest for amrita. So why exactly were all these divine beings gathered on this gemmed peak in the first place? They're sitting in this grand conclave, surrounded by absolute perfection, high up, kissing the heavens. But they aren't just kicking back and taking in the view. No, they had one very specific objective.
This right here brilliantly illustrates the ultimate stakes of our story. Amrita, it's celestial ambrosia, the ultimate life-giving substance. And to get it, the gods haven't just been sitting around hoping for the best. They've actively practiced intense penances and observed excellent vows. They are pouring their absolute all into obtaining this single substance. That is the singular, driving goal behind this entire celestial gathering.
But here's where the tension really starts to build. The text reveals a pretty profound contrast. It says, seeing the celestial assembly in anxious mood. Just think about that for a second. They're sitting on a mountain of unmatched golden luster, listening to celestial winged choirs, yet the gods are highly anxious. Their penances and vows just haven't been enough to secure the amrita yet. They're at a total standstill, filled with this really palpable divine anxiety over how to actually get their hands on this celestial ambrosia, and this tension perfectly sets the stage for a massive, universe-altering intervention.
Which brings us to the grand directive, the command to churn. The anxiety of the gods reaches a boiling point, and the deity Narayana steps in with a wild, totally unprecedented solution addressed to Brahman. This shifts the story entirely from a tense, static gathering into an impending action of truly cosmic proportions.
Listen to the sheer scale of this command. Do thou churn the ocean with the gods and the Asuras. Just process the mechanics of that for a second. Narayana isn't telling them to perform more penances or, sing more hymns. He is directing an ultimate cosmic team-up. He's instructing the divine gods to join forces with their rivals, the Asuras, to literally, physically churn the ocean itself. We are talking about a massive, unimaginable labor project that requires the combined immense might of both of these incredibly powerful groups. But why go to such extreme lengths? Well, Narayana makes a stunning promise. By doing so, amrita will be obtained as also all drugs and gems. And boom, this perfectly connects the narrative loop right back to our very beginning. Narayana guarantees that this churning will produce the ultimate prize of amrita. But also, and this is key, as a byproduct of this violent cosmic mixing, all sorts of incredible drugs and gems are going to be discovered. And that explains exactly how Uchchaihsravas, that marvelous perpetually young masterpiece of a horse, representing one of the absolute ultimate gems of creation, was birthed directly from the churning waters. It all makes perfect sense now.
So, if a perpetually young, invincible horse and the nectar of immortality came from this churning, what other unimaginable drugs and gems emerged from the ocean's depths? We've seen how the quest for immortality led to a desperate cosmic alliance, the churning of the literal ocean, and the birth of a flawless divine steed. But I'll leave you with this really provocative thought to chew on. What other masterpieces of creation were unleashed into the world when the gods and Asuras stirred the cosmic waters? Keep that vast, frankly bizarre potential in mind as you ponder the sheer scale of the Mahabharata's mythology. Thanks so much for diving into this explainer with me, and hey, never stop questioning the origins.